good afternoon. My name's Doug Walker with Walker Travel. We're a third-generation travel agency started by my grandparents in 1927. And why in the world am I still in the business? Because I see happy people every day just like you. And why would a person use a travel agent? Well, do you do your own taxes? If you do, you might not need a travel agent. But if you go to a CPA like Raoul CPA, like I do, they save me money, and when the IRS comes calling, I just turn it over to them. A travel agent has knowledge. For example, Joyce Spinn in our office. Have you ever thought about going on an African safari? Well, wouldn't you like to talk to someone that's been on 9 African safaris? Or how about Donna? She's married to an Italian. Guess what? How many times has she been to Italy? Or maybe someone in the office has been to Hawaii more than 100 times. So it's knowledge that travel agents have. So people ask me, Doug, where do people in Oregon go on their trips? I have to laugh. It's one easy answer. They go where it's sunny. So we have lots of trips to Mexico, Hawaii, the Mediterranean, South America, South Pacific. My wife and I are on our way next month to New Zealand and then to Singapore with Eric and Mary Beth Young. We've had a Rotary exchange student from New Zealand a number of years ago, so we're going to go visit her. We're going to have a good time. And then Diane, before we were married, she taught in the American school in Singapore. And so we're going to go visit the school and her old haunts. And she was single at the time. I called her to ask, I was in the Army, I called her to ask her to marry me. And I remember it was $60 at that time. She said she'd think about it. Anyway, 50 years later, we're married, 3 kids, 6 grandchildren, and we're in a happy industry. We love living in Gresham. Great place, great schools. Thanks everybody for passing that bond, so we have new high schools and grade schools. A great medical center, good transportation, a very strong political Gresham mayor. Oh, by the way, 1953, my dad was mayor of Fairview. The big thing then was they were putting through I-84 right through the middle of Fairview. Yeah, so they built the freeway, no economic impact, environmental impact studies, and then sent him as mayor the paperwork to sign after it was built. Anyway, boy, you could get things done then. So what other destinations are people interested in? Well, a number of years ago, we changed our name from Walker Travel Service to Walker Travel and Cruises. And so what a way to visit the Panama Canal is through a cruise. And by the way, they've built another canal, so there's 2 canals for you to visit. Also, you can cruise, and one of my favorite is our sailing ship called the Star Clipper. It only holds about 150 people, but they go into smaller ports in the Caribbean, which the large ships can't get into. And talk about large ships, Royal Caribbean has the Harmony of the Seas, has 6,000 passengers. Some of the cruise ships have racing cars on top of the ships. I think it's called the NCL Bliss is one. And it's a great place to have a family multi-generational trip because everybody is taken care of, and then you just meet once at dinner time and find out how much fun everybody's had. My wife and I just returned from our 50th wedding anniversary in Sayulita, Mexico, with all our kids and our grandchildren. Sayulita is about 40 miles north of Puerto Vallarta. So we flew into Puerto Vallarta and went up to this small little village and went up and rented a villa. Now that sounds like expensive, but what it really wasn't expensive for 14 people. It was about $1,000 a night, but it was up in the hills, so we had to climb up quite a few stairs. It was from our gate into our villa to the top where our bedroom was, 93 steps. But once you got up there, the views you couldn't believe. And what I really liked, it has outdoor showers. Yeah, you know. Anyway, that was the fun thing. Went into town each night, went to dinner, very reasonable there. Every day we went boogie boarding, surfing in the ocean, and you'd go out and rent for $5 a lounge, and it's like probably Puerto Vallarta was 40 years ago. Other destinations people like to go to, well, Europe. Many of us have relatives in Europe, Ireland, and trying to find those castles or where they were, the cemeteries are of your ancestors. That's a lot of fun. I think the most impressive place that I've ever traveled, a couple, was Israel. Since 1948, you cannot believe what they've done with the desert. And you'd go to one of their farms growing strawberries. They'd grow them in the desert right across the border. Syria, desert, nothing. So what they've done in Israel is unbelievable. So that was one of the most impressive places. Also China, and hopefully someday we'll get back to being able to go to China. The Great Wall, yeah, that's fine, but just going and meeting the people, being able to go to their culture, the landscape's unbelievable. The Three Gorges, they built a huge dam there, and the largest in the world. The other place I visited, which two others you can't go to, is Iran and Tehran. What a wonderful country. Unfortunately, the political unrest has caused it that Americans can't go there. And the other is Russia. Love Russia. St. Petersburg, the port there, that's where their Annapolis is. And we used to have the cruise ship go in there before the, this little war that's going on. But hopefully that will calm down and we'll be able to visit Russia and Moscow. And the Russian people really enjoyed them. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of traveling. One idea that I want you to know about is a passport. You're going to need a passport to go mostly to international countries. Where do you get your passport? Well, if it's the first one, you can go down to the local FedEx, and it's called Kinko's. It used to be called Kinko's, but the local FedEx office, and they'll help you apply for a passport. Also take your photos there. There's been a lot of questions about these driver's licenses. Do you need a passport, or do you need this special type of driver's license now? Forget about it. They extended it another 2 years. So not until 2025 do you need to have that special driver's license, so don't worry about it. And of course, if you have a passport, you wouldn't even need a driver's license. So Walker Travel, we had a little fire, but we're going to be June 1st back into our office on the corner of Main and Division in our old house that was built 101 years ago. We're looking forward to it, and hopefully you'll get an invitation to our big blowout. We're going to have a open house with the Chamber of Commerce. 503-666-3700, Doug at walkertravel.com, or just look at our website, walkertravel.com. Have a good day.